What's going on, guys? It's Jay here, back at it again with another food review. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you find any value or entertainment from these food reviews, go ahead and subscribe. If you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, just leave it down in the comment section below and we can banter back and forth. Anyways, for today, we are going to dive in to a Japanese meal that is widely famous. It is ramen, okay? Let's get into it. You got your egg noodles, you got your pork chatsu that's sliced, you got your half-boiled egg, you got your green onions, and I'm not too sure what this guy is right here. You got your fish cakes, and you got some sesame seeds in here as well. And in the other bowl, if I can get it open here, we have our pork tonkatsu broth. I just want to make sure that this is a stable surface for me to pour this. I think what's lacking in this ramen is a noodle that could absorb the flavor more. The broth is amazing. The pork slices were amazing. The half-boiled egg was cooked to perfection. Just the right amount where it's not fully cooked, but it's got that runny egg yolk, which is good. The broth, for me personally, I like it when it's more garlicky and salty. This one, it's just the right amount of saltiness, and there's a hint of like pork flavor to it, which is really good. I think what's missing it from like an overall perspective is quite possibly a more garlicky broth, or just more garnishes like seaweed or like fish cakes. I think if they added more garnishes, then when people finish the noodles or they finish the pork slices or they finish the half-boiled egg, that when they're left with the broth, that they have some different kind of texture than just slurping the broth itself. There's a bamboo shoot in there as well. My thoughts on that ramen from that hole-in-the-wall place close to my house. I've already listed out my points. The egg noodles, they're not too thick, they're not too thin, they're just in the middle there. I think if they were a little more different, where they would like absorb the flavor more, or they would just like blanch it with the broth itself beforehand, like in its raw form, so that it would just soak it for like 2 minutes or a minute, blanch it or like soak it in there for a minute before you prepare the broth, and then after, instead of just leaving it in its dry form, or like pre-cooking it in like water, like warm water, that you do that with the broth. Although it might be wasteful, it would absorb the flavor more. I think I could have enjoyed this much more if there's thin noodles. The broth was amazing. It wasn't too salty, but it still had some flavor. I actually prefer the pork tonkatsu broth with more garlic flavor and more saltier. That's just my preference though, but like when it comes to your preference, you might not know what to expect. It is very savory. It is a very savory broth, which was pretty good. The pork slices, I've had bigger ones. They give you like something like maybe 2 times the chicken nugget size, so it's like not too big. So you kind of have to like rip it in half or ration it to get it with some of the noodles and the broth there, just to fully enjoy it. I think the size of the portions of the pork could have been bigger. The half-boiled egg was cooked amazing. It wasn't too full. It wasn't too cooked, and it was just runny enough to enjoy it with the ramen itself, like the broth. I think for the garnishes, they could have added more bamboo shoots, some seaweed, for example, dry seaweed, or some green onions. I think they could have added that more. In terms of flavor, it's not the best tasting ramen I've had, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. In terms of price, it's like fairly standard across the board in Canada. You are looking to pay for that bowl like $12, 12, $13. I've even had places in downtown Vancouver that are going for like 15 minimum for the same flavor. But the flavor profile is much different. So it's on the cheaper end. I'd say it's $3 cheaper. So in terms of price, I give it like a 9 out of 10. So overall taste for the ramen, the build of it, fairly standard stuff. Nothing too overly amazing. The taste brings it up to a 7. I was thinking for the overall build itself, like maybe a 6, 6.5, or maybe even a 5.5, just because it's lacking all the little like accessories in there to make it like fully complete. It comes with like the standard items, but I think like the fact that the noodles were lacking absorbing the broth itself and the amount of meat that they give you, it was kind of on the smaller side, but you get what you pay for, I guess. Yeah, that's my review on eating ramen on this channel for the first time. Once again, if you guys find any value or entertainment from these videos, go ahead and subscribe. And if you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, just leave it down in the comment section below and we can banter back and forth. Anyways, that's Jay from the food eating review show in my car. And if you have any thoughts, comments, opinions, once again, just leave it down in the comment section below. And until next time, guys.